Thanks so much for joining us. We are the Massie twins from GoneWithTheTwins.com, and today we will be doing a review on The Lion King. This is the 2019, not live action. By the studio's request, we're not supposed to call this a live action film. I actually can't remember.
But it feels
what we're supposed to call this.
It feels like that because all of the animals have been turned into humans.
I think you can't really consider this live action because there's no humans in it. So really, this is just a computer animated film. But I will say right off the bat, it is absolutely jaw-dropping, mind-blowing what these digital artists can achieve. They've created stuff that is just so photorealistic. It's absolutely mesmerizing.
For me, right when the film started, I actually, and it's probably because Jon Favreau's the director of this, and he also did The Jungle Book from several years ago. I felt like right away all of the animals didn't look quite as good as The Jungle Book. I remember distinctly Jungle Book kind of blew my mind as far as how realistic the animals looked. And this one, especially, it grows on you pretty quick, but early on, they seem too clean and crisp and just a little too, like the CG didn't blend quite with the environment the way it did in The Jungle Book.
Visually, for me, it was, it's the background elements, the environments, the atmospheric things, the little mice, the odd mouse here and there running around.
So the movement is really good.
The bugs,
the water effect.
These things are indistinguishable from the real thing. I think once the animals start talking and singing, that's where you start to have a little bit of deviation.
Well, the lion's mane as it's billowing in the wind, it's so realistic. But then when they start talking, obviously, it does detract a little.
Well, and they look like real animals talking. It's just that, for me, the original traditionally animated, the cartoon, I'll call it, has the charm of being pure fantasy. Here, though, when you've got this hyper-realistic look to it, there's not a lot of fantasy anymore. Yes, they talk, yes, they sing, but when the lions get in a fight, or when Scar is being evil, or when the hyenas are feasting and things like this, it's very realistic. So everything is more severe, in my opinion. And
the hyenas are actually ugly, and Pumbaa is a warthog, so he looks exactly like a warthog.
The cuteness has been completely removed, other than Timon, who's a cute meerkat. But when you look at characters like Zazu, those little bird thing, and Rafiki, these are not cute characters anymore. And certainly the hyenas have lost all element of cuteness. But again, the severity. So in the stampede scene, which is a big set, it's a big spectacle moment. This scene gets even more intense because of this realism. But at the same time, I feel like the emotional impact is less. Largely because it's all a repeat. It's very difficult to dismiss the existence of the original, the 90s
There's not a whole lot of changes. However, I feel the things they've changed, it runs into the same problems as Aladdin. And that is, when you notice the change, you're like, why did they change that? It didn't change it for the better. And one of the things that stood out to me was the arrangements of the songs. Most of them, well, they're all different now, but most of them, noticeably, the changes I didn't like. There were a few of the songs, I believe, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? The arrangement was different, but it was okay. The one that bugged me the most was the first song,
Circle
of Life. Yeah, the arrangement was very different, and I just didn't care for it. I think some of the songs were shortened a little bit, and some were lengthened, but Scar's song definitely felt truncated.
Yeah.
I will say, on the positive side, though, song-wise, they did not add a song, which I feel this might be the first one that they didn't add an additional song, and I like that.
It's unnecessary to add more songs to it. Yeah, I think when you compare this to Jon Favreau's previous completely computer animated film, well, except for Mowgli, The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book has always been, as a traditional cartoon from the 60s, it was always not one of Disney's greatest achievements. So there's room for improvement. So I think when they translated that into a three-dimensional environment, the spectacle was even greater. The advancements in visuals were more noticeable. The problem with The Lion King is the one, was it 94, I want to say, the original Lion King, was such a masterpiece when it came out that there's very little room for improvement, if any. So when they reimagine it as this, and again, it's not live action, but as a completely computer animated film, there's nothing for them to do but to redo everything that was in the original. Why change some of your most
a lot of
impressive
a lot of the issues that Aladdin faced, this one faced, and I fully believe when they do the Little Mermaid, that's going to run into the same issues.
Yeah. So again, for me, a lot of these remakes have a very difficult time justifying their own existence because the originals. Watching this just makes me want to go back and watch the original, and I don't know where this one improves other than for the newer generation.
I did enjoy the voice cast. All of the actors and actresses they cast all did a great job. I think some of the standouts were Seth Rogen as Pumbaa.
Yes.
He really stood out. Now, they gave both Timon and Pumbaa more one-liners, more comedy, so they're even funnier.
There was
probably
a modernization that went on with their dialogue.
And it worked really well. Even John Oliver as Zazu was pretty impressive.
And Timon was it Bill Eichner?
Yeah.
That was an impressive one. That was an unguessable voice for me, but it was well done. I think the
one of the scenes that they added, I don't remember how they did it exactly in the cartoon, but there was a weird hair scene where a tuft of hair falls off of Simba and it floats down a river, and then a gust of wind picks it up and it lands in a tree and a giraffe eats it, and then the giraffe passes it through its system and a dung beetle. And it's just, I don't know what they're doing with these weird added things.
That was a strange new addition. Especially for a Disney film, I feel like there was
because there's so many things that don't need changing, because as you said, that original was such a well balanced and well thought out film.
Yeah. So again, this is fine for newer generations who have never seen the original. A good way to introduce the story. The story is still a great story.
The songs are all still good too, even though they've been, in my opinion, changed a little bit.
I think
for the worse.
For the older generations, though, there's just no reason to see this unless you're very curious, because again, the original is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that about wraps things up. You can read the full review on GoneWithTheTwins.com. Thanks so much for watching, and we will be back before you know it with another review.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.